so much for listening to the Cooligans. In this first segment of this episode, we talk about a lot. Unfortunately, we talk about recent news topics. We don't want to have to talk about it. I certainly don't want to have to talk about it. But yet again, we have to. We also talk about Alejandro Bedoya grabbing a microphone, saying whatever the hell he wants, which is what we do on a weekly basis, baby. We also talk about Rooney. Mans is going back to shade. He does not want to be in the sun anymore.
And in the second segment, we talked to someone all the way over in England, Kristan Heneage. He is a journalist for The Guardian. He's written for a bunch of other publications, but he is our Newcastle expert, our Premier League expert,
our Costa Rican food expert.
That's right. Which is what a weird resume, but it's on there. So all this and more today on the Cooligans.
Hey, this is Alexi Lawless. There is nobody in U.S. soccer that is more important than the Cooligans.
Yeah, baby!
Yeah! Hey, everybody.
We're not in Orlando.
We are not. We are back in studio. That was a long trip.
Yeah, shouts to the city of Orlando, but we were there for a very long time, and then we were in Charlotte before that, and we were in D.C. before that. We're going up and down the Eastern Seaboard, baby.
Okay, we're
currently in Charleston, South Carolina, just sitting on hammocks.
No, man, it was All-Star was great. I hope you enjoyed our episode from there and that crossover with Total Soccer Show.
Yeah.
And for the fact that I really sacrificed a lot.
You literally make a living with your voice, and you were like, nah, screw it.
Nah, let me damage it permanently.
It was like Fast and the Furious when the car's like rattling, and you're like, I'm still going to hit this Nas button.
No, you want to, you trying to win? Oh, wow.
But because you're like skinny Dominican dude, you're like a 1984 Toyota Tercel with Nas in it.
Hey, man. Look, it gets me around. For
whatever, yo, we drifting then.
Hello, everyone. Yes, my voice is, what would you call it? 80%? 75%?
What would you have said the last episode was?
It was 20.
I was going to say 20 as well. So, then this one's about 75.
Okay. So,
I'll give you that.
So this is not, for any new listener, this is not my normal voice.
No, it is not. Also, your chair's squeaking, so that's not just your throat begging for hydration.
That's because I'm twerking on my chair, dog.
How else do you think we start this show, my guy?
All right. It's high energy.
Yeah. Bro, you better be twerking while listening to this.
If you're not, you banned from listening.
I know, right? We're going to find a way to let you not listen.
So we're excited to be here. Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Christian Polanco.
And I'm Alexis Guerrero.
All of a sudden, he's 80 years old.
Yeah. I know. I don't know why when your voice gets raspy, you get younger. You are the Dominican Benjamin Button. Benjamin Botton.
So, yes, and we are your favorite stand-up comedians out here at the top of Madison Square Garden.
That's right. Just above where the Knicks lose.
Okay. They haven't even started the season, and they're already losing.
Already taking L's.
And yes, and this is also the funniest soccer podcast that you've ever listened to.
It's not just that, though.
It isn't just that.
Nah, and we have a guest in house. We got Felix, Third Rail Bronx. He knows exactly what it is. It's the gulliest soccer podcast.
Let's go.
In the world. All soccer podcast. I don't care what your IP address is, dog. I don't care what your RSS feed is, my guy. We the gulliest.
Okay,
Top of the charts.
I never thought anybody could threaten somebody about their RSS feed, you know?
You heard it here first, folks.
All right? Your RSS feed is mad buns, okay? You know about that.
You're taking all the dubs over there with the RSS feed.
Okay. Yes, so look.
Does anyone understand what we say? That's a serious question.
Look, get a Cooligans glossary going.
Yeah, all right.
You might need
What
it.
are they at the bottom of the map? The legend? You know, we need one of those. Like, if you heard Mad Buns, here's what that means.
Yo, you don't know what Mad Buns is?
Yeah.
You might be Mad Buns.
Yeah, you might be Mad Buns. You might be holding that out. You don't know what Mad Buns is. How do we explain vernacular with other vernacular? No one will ever know.
Okay, this is what American soccer sounds like. Get used to it.
That's it.
So, look, there's a lot. This is gonna be a very packed show.
There's a lot going on.
And there is a lot going on, and I want to get to I want to start the show the way we normally start the show by showing love to the people who show love to us, and we are.
That's right. We are going to make love to. I'm sorry, show love to the people.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
All of a sudden,
was that a correction? Was it not? Was it a Freudian slip? Who knows?
show sweet love to the people who show us love.
So I wanted to do this because we do have so much to talk about today. There's a lot going on. So this one is from RJK92, and it just the subject says ain't gully. So this is our iTunes review. So we're currently at 541. Help us get to 600. We're so close, right?
We're so close.
And
to 600.
He or she says no. So it's
RJK92.
RJK92. He says I'm not gully. Okay, so this sounds like
welcome, RJK. It's like a meeting.
It's a meeting. It's like AA meeting. Okay, it's like okay.
The Gully Anonymous.
He says, "I'm not gully. I ain't never gonna be gully. 50-year-old white guy in the suburbs in the Midwest, but I'm gully adjacent."
We need those.
All right, you're an ally. All right,
Yeah.
thank you. So he says, I found the Cooligans through TSS in crossover episodes way back when. I subscribed, but unsubscribed after a few episodes when I didn't feel gully enough. And then during the Orlando MLS All-Star episodes, I caught the idea of gully adjacent, and I'm in. Subscribe.
He's back, baby.
He's back. We got him back. Okay, he got off the side of the road.
He pulled the minivan over.
Okay, he was on the shoulder. He was like, oh, look, I don't know if I can. The traffic is going quite fast. I don't know if I can really get back in there.
He looked down at his sensible Skechers. You know what I mean? He said, maybe I'm not gully enough to listen to the show. We welcome everybody.
Exactly.
Regardless of where you are on the gully scale, because we will help you adjust it forward. We need the gully adjacent.
We will place you where you need to be, okay?
Not everyone can just throw $2 into a sandwich bag and say, yo, here, kid, that's your lunch. Some people got to go, I'm going to give you a sandwich. I'm going to cut the edges off the crust. And let me throw some carrots in there. We need the gully adjacents. The world wouldn't work with just gully.
Exactly. This is, you know what? But props to RJK92 for having the self-awareness. You know, I don't know if all podcast fans of maybe fans of other podcasts are this self-aware, where they can be like, you know what, I
admit
like
to themselves.
Yes, they can be like, look, I love these guys, but I just don't know if I could roll with them day to day.
It just so happens that we have another review similar. It's from Mech Dude, MEC Dude. What's up, Mech Dude? He said, gully enough.
Okay.
Maybe these guys were next to each other when they left the reviews. Right? He put, I ain't gonna lie. Found these guys through their first TSS crossover episode. It took me almost a year before I finished a full episode, but their gulliness started rubbing off on me and made it part of my weekly routine. I now consider myself gully enough to listen to a full show on a regular basis. Keep up the good work. Much more authentic than a certain show involving a certain type of clothing. All right, obviously talking about TSS, right?
That's right.
Total Soccer shirt. Yo, shouts to Mech Dude. I like to believe in a parallel universe, RJK92 is just Mech Dude from the past. And Mech Dude found his, he found his gulliness. And he was like, no, you're right. I'm good now.
Now this is like
layers, bro.
Avengers Endgame, weird time thing. I don't know what's going on.
What is the thing with the cartoon people? They have a universe, right? Like all these movies take place in the same world.
You know, I'm not gonna answer you because there's no point because you don't even care.
I don't. But I was trying to make a reference. There's like a gully. There's like a Cooligans universe.
Yes, the MCU. That's what they call it.
Definitely great college. Come on, you terps. I don't know.
So thank you so much for leaving a review. Help us.
What does MCU stand for?
Marvel Comic Universe or Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I knew that the whole time.
Okay. Anyway, so
anyway, thank you for everyone who's left over a review. We're at 541. We need that 600. Because if we don't get to 600, how are we going to beg you guys for 700? I mean,
it would make no sense if we begged for 700 right now.
No, man.
We would look ridiculous asking
Baby
for
steps.
700 is like being greedy.
Yeah. No, we got to get to 6 and then 7. Well, we're going to hit you over the head for.
So let's obviously a lot to talk about. And again, there's we'll get to, if you're watching this on YouTube, we'll get to all the stuff that we have
there's a lot of stuff on the table.
in front of us.
There's a little horse. There's some bottles. There's some cans. We have our very expensive phones out.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like to the listener, it's like they're about to have the weirdest orgy, right?
Yeah.
There's a horse. There's a
Easy.
a lot going on. But no, we're going to talk about soccer.
Is that
I
how
swear.
Christian's voice got real?
So we have to talk. Let's talk about Ala Bedoya, and let's probably start there. And we've done this show long enough.
I thought the same thing right before you said that.
Where this is. Yes, we've had these conversations, and it gets frustrating.
What is this,
every
the fourth
single time.
fourth, fifth time we've had to?
We've had to talk about it only because it's now. I like that we're talking about it in this scenario as opposed to because it is getting to the point where it's permeated soccer as well, right? It can't even. It's such a part of our the fabric of American society to deal with mass shootings that. There's even you probably listen to this show to kind of get away from the sad and terrible things that are going on.
That's probably why people watch soccer. It's like, you know what? This is a 90-minute release of all that. And, you know, they're human beings. They get affected by it, too. There's only so much. It's happening so much now that there is no escape. And you know what? There should be no escape. Like, this is something that needs to be constantly on top of our minds so that we can start to find a way to push the people we've elected to make decisions that will make this go away.
Yes, and if you did not see this, if you listen to the show, you probably saw this. Alejandro Bedoya, captain for the Philadelphia Union, after they scored the first goal,
Destroyed a sound guy's ears.
yeah, that was his intention. Yeah,
Because you know the gain's way up, and the guy's like, "Oh, we're getting a lot of good sounds." You know, he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no, we can hear the goalkeeper."
Sure, you know what? But that
necessary.
It was necessary. It had to be done. But
dude, your ears bled for society, my guy.
But Alejandro Bedoya, after scoring the goal, he first he runs over to who was Elsinho's mother, and gives her a big hug, and it's great that he's
Elsinho's like, yo, we need to talk about that too, my guy.
Yeah.
We ain't forget that.
Yo,
part.
I'm on your side, but like, yo, you were hugging her a little bit too hard. It's my mother,
saying,
dog.
no, yeah. You go over the shoulder, my guy. That's a mom.
So yes, this is a comedy show. We're trying our best.
We're really trying.
But no, and I had read that Bedoya, he initially didn't know where the supporters were, and they were in the opposite corner, but he ran to the wrong corner. Saul Elsinho's mom was like, "Yo, what's good, fam?" Give her a big hug. It was, you know,
waiting for this moment.
We need more moms doing goal celebrations. Yo, that's dope.
Yo, bring out all the moms. Yo. You've heard of the wives and girlfriends? Let's bring out the moms and what I get stepmoms,
grandmoms or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
let's
abuela,
get the mags out, dude.
The abuela. What's the abuela celebration?
Yo, let's
like?
get some abuelas, some Argentinian abuelas, just sit there making empanadas on the side of the pitch.
You earned it, baby. Here you go.
Drink some mate. Cálmate un poco.
So goes, gives her a hug, and after the whole team celebrates, he walks over.
He leaves the team.
Goes over to the sideline microphone, grabs it, and yells, "Congress, do something now. End gun violence. Let's go.
Let's go."
So he screams this. This is on Fox. It's a nationally televised game.
Right.
You know.
Here's the state of American soccer. Also, everybody. The first thing that comes out is everyone grips for him to be fined or in trouble somehow because MLS is trying their best to be apolitical. I don't think it's being handled the right way.
Okay.
But you know, this is. Some would say a political statement. He said the word Congress, right?
Sure, they have something to do with politics, even though they get nothing
Clearly,
done.
yeah, nothing gets done. They were elected into politics, and they were like, "Nah, we're not gonna work. We just want the free trip to DC." Everyone was worried, like, "Yo, is MLS gonna fine him?" And it's like, dude, overwhelmingly, your fan base is for this message. Yeah, overwhelmingly, your fan base. So much so that he was voted Player of the Week. Without being one of the options.
That's right. He was a write-in, you know?
He got the write-in ballot.
Yeah.
Because so many people voted for him, which is great. Like, and what sucks is we have to talk about things like this happening because of something terrible. You know what I mean? Like, we don't get to talk about instances where players sort of speak their minds and the fans are behind it when it's something that's like fun. You know what I mean? Like it has to be these terrible things that happen in order for players to feel the need to come out. And it sucks that we have to now sit here and be like, oh my God, what if he gets fined by the league? He shouldn't be. If anything, he should be getting high five.
And he's not. You know,
he's not.
They came
but they
out.
also said like what he said was apolitical. All right.
Okay. So I mean, my first reaction was absolute. I was just in awe of Ali Bedoya, and he's always been very vocal about other previous shootings. This is the thing with soccer players.
Well, he's from near Parkland.
That's right.
So when that happened, he wore a shirt.
So, but
that had a message on it. I don't remember what it
MSD
was.
Strong, Stoneman Douglas, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, right? So he has.
Damn, you have a good memory.
He has been very vocal about this stuff, and he is relatively one of the most, courageous athletes when it comes to speaking out on things. When how many times do we were talking to Matt Doyle here when he was here? How many times every day he gets comments? Stick to sports, stick to soccer. Well, I don't want to hear these political things out of you. But it's just like
too bad.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I sort of want to talk to these people that are like this, that are these stick to sports people.
I would like to get it on the record that I never want to talk to these people.
But it's becoming more ridiculous, the stick to sports narrative, because there's fucking people dying, right?
Yeah.
It's getting to the point where whether it's on the internet or whatever, or people are they want to compartmentalize all of this stuff. It's just like you're just saying, I have no empathy for dead people.
Yeah.
I have no empathy for these people that are dying for the same reason over and over every couple weeks. And
well, I have a solution. You want athletes to stop talking about mass shootings? Stop mass shootings.
that'd be a good solution.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about don't complain about the person who has to talk about it? Someone took a moment out of their goal celebration to yell something into a microphone to beg elected officials to do something about a problem we have. And you're mad at the guy who yelled something, not the fact that there's a problem that's not going away?
And that's the thing.
It's ridiculous.
There was the audio in itself. Well, you listen to it of Ali Bedoya. There's something to the audio in itself, right? Because you made the joke about the gain was like really loud, but he grabbed a boom mic that is not meant to be screamed at that closely,
right.
And the sound of his voice, you hear the suffering
right.
in it.
You hear the pain in his voice.
And so there's some almost like somebody had to scream it so that people could pay more attention to it, right? Because the Sandy Hook and dead children are not enough of a thing to get people to pay attention to it. And so
when people start shooting the money, that's when Congress is going to care.
Sure. But you know what? Look, and that can be a bigger conversation about like clearly what people prioritize is.
All right, well, if we're going to have a more intelligent conversation, I probably shouldn't be a part of it.
No, but it's just
I'll make the sandwiches. Y'all go ahead and talk. Let me know what gets resolved.
It is just insane to me that I have this sort of idea of like I've tried to make it into a joke, but there's nothing funny about it per se, about like the people who are biased about gun shootings are the people who are alive. You have a live bias, right?
Yeah,
because the dead people that
you
were
got
killed,
breath privilege.
It's like it takes there's a certain level of arrogance to just be like, oh no, gun laws won't work, or this will like it's absolutely pompous to just believe that nothing can be done, and that's why
also will it do something? Probably.
Yeah.
And is that not worth advancing?
It's just
It's like someone who's like, weighs like 600 pounds, does 5 ab crunches, and everyone's like, well, that's not going to give you abs. But it may help a little bit. It may put them on the path to some help. That's what we should all be hoping for when it comes to these, whether it's laws, whatever it is you think needs to be fixed, let's do it all. Let's stop talking about it. We're all going to talk about mental health. Well, go ahead, help it.
Well, yeah.
Do that too.
Look, even...
You can do both.
Even like Khloe Kardashian has a show about getting not... fat people to not be fat.
Is that true?
She has a show. She has like it's called Revenge Body, where it's like The premise of the show.
What are we doing
This is
as
what
a
I'm saying.
society?
Is that a Kardashian should make a show about gun shootings and try to like help
Yeah.
and fix like the issue, right? So because
If Kendall came out and said, guns are mad buns, maybe.
maybe something will change.
Maybe.
So
We need you, Kardashians.
the Kardashians are the only ones who can save us now.
You're our only hope. You are our royal family at this point.
So, yes, you haven't seen the show Revenge Body? Where-
No, I haven't. I never even knew it existed.
Chloe-
And my life is slightly less
So
worth.
the concept of the show is like fat people go lose weight.
Because
and-
they broke up. They broke up. That's the revenge.
it could be anybody. Like the last one I recently saw was.
Oh, you've seen more than one. This is a problem.
I've seen two because
Now I know why your voice is gone, because you're just going, yes, queen! Yes! At a TV screen.
hey, look, that's what I watch when I'm eating my oatmeal. I don't know what to tell you. So, the last one I saw
Made me spill my overnight oats.
was actually really sad because it was a guy who was overweight. Then he did the whole Revenge Body program with Khloe Kardashian. He was inspired, and then did like a reveal with his family. But he was gay. He was closeted. And he came out to his family and his father walked out. He left the party. He was like, I can't be around him.
Jesus Christ.
And that was the end of the show.
I got it. Well, okay. Kris Jenner or another Kardashian needs to come out with Revenge Family, where you get a different family, one who loves you and respects you. And I know the Kardashians don't really have any idea what that is, but or maybe they do. Who knows? They seem like a supportive family.
Yes.
They're out here getting money together.
So, look, Ale Bedoya, it was absolutely incredible. I hate that he had to do that, but I commend him for doing it because, it does take, it is just screaming into a microphone, but it does take some courage, You have to deal with the criticism. You have to deal with the people who do not agree with you. And those people are angry, they're loud, and they also have fucking guns,
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not...
like these little mini armies that are angry.
It's just the reality situation. So,
But I also want to mention, rest in peace to Dave Kimowitz, the owner of one of the owners of the Stand Comedy Club.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine and a huge Arsenal fan. He was murdered in his house on Saturday morning by his nanny's boyfriend, who she was also murdered, unfortunately. They broke up and he didn't handle it well. And shouts to everyone who's out there who goes through any relationship where things like this. If you need help, seek it. Don't try to do it on your own. If you think the person you're with is dangerous and can hurt people, this guy was sleeping in his bed and he let both of these people live in his house. She was from Colombia. She was here studying. She was an au pair or a nanny, whatever you want to call it. And out of nowhere, he dies for absolutely no reason. And it sucks and it hurts. And I'll be at the funeral when you guys are listening to this. And mainly I'm there because I want to support some of the other comedians who knew him a little better than I did. He was also a talent manager, so he managed a bunch of them. R.I.P. to the Kimowitz, to Dave Kimowitz. Luckily, his two daughters and his wife were not home. It's just absolutely a shame. And, to have to say this is just as shocking as, when I first heard it. But I will say, if the one thing that I could take away from him is the last time I got a chance to speak to him was at the soft open for the Stand. He came up to me. He's like, hey, man, I saw the video of you guys with Aubameyang and Holding. And I showed it to him again. And I showed him that Aubameyang retweeted it. And he was as happy for us as if he was the third Cooligan. And not to say that you have to be happy for what we're doing, but that's just the kind of genuine person he was. He didn't manage us. He didn't have anything to do with us. He wasn't making money off of us, and he couldn't be happier. And he was one of the most supportive people when it came to Cooligans when I started it. When we started, I should say, and sort of he followed along. And it was just the kind of person he was. He was very warm, very welcoming. And I know when people die, they always say this stuff about him, but I really mean it with this guy. He was just a sweetheart of a dude, and it just absolutely sucks. So, dude, I hope whatever, you're resting in peace. And I'm really sorry that you had to go that way, dude.
Yeah, I didn't know Dave personally. I knew about him, but overall, it's been a very tough weekend for a lot of people.
Dude, the toughest part was I had to call some dudes who aren't prepared for this conversation. Yeah. And it just, I don't know why I had to be the one to do it. Maybe if you believe in whatever. Maybe that was for a reason, because maybe I was able to deliver it in a certain way. I don't know. But it was very difficult to hear it, and it was very difficult to make those calls. And, thank you for D for being there with me, and thank you for everyone else who helped me through that time, because it's still in shock. Still don't believe it.
Yeah. Well,
soccer did happen.
Soccer did happen, and we'll talk about a lot of those other things. So look,
also R.I.P. to DC United.
Yes, the comedy must go on. You know what? In Dave's memory, right? Why not? Because it's weirdly, doing comedy has been the most death I've ever really dealt with in my life. You introduce this huge new community
of people,
you have this family, and it's great. And you experience a lot of loss, and we both dealt with it, and it's incredibly tragic. So, but we have to. This is the fight, right? This is why we all got into.
We must go on
this hustle. So, let's talk about some of the stuff we have up here.
Okay, look at this. First of all, we got the beautiful third rail Bronx scarf.
Yeah, that's right. Shout out.
Take me to the Bronx, as it said. It's where I want to be.
That's right. We do have to give a shout out to Felix, who is here, and because he does a lot of the designs of the tifos.
That's right. Look at this beautiful year.
That's right. So we always make a point to there's a lot of we do a comedy podcast, and we try to contribute something to the culture. But there are a lot of people day to day that are boots on the Timberlands on the ground. If you know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely not scuffed Timbs on the ground.
That do the work, man, and it takes a lot of work to design stuff, to paint tifos and sacrifice.
I mean, we still haven't even produced a scarf because it's difficult, and these guys are doing 3 or 4 at a clip. So you can only imagine how hard these folks are working.
So shouts to you, man, for all the work that you do for the team and the league and stuff like that. So, so we also have some kombucha up here.
Right. So I shit on kombucha a little bit on a show. Because, why would you purposely drink poison? So
we got sent Brew Doctor kombucha.
Right. So I'm holding the Portland Thorns one right now.
Yes, and I'm holding the Portland Timbers. Who is
Lindsey
on the
Horan.
screen? Lindsey Horan is right on there.
World Cup winning Lindsey Horan.
I don't know. The Timbers one doesn't have any players on here.
No players on it?
Yeah,
well, none of them won the World Cup. Step your game up.
They haven't earned the privilege to be in a kombucha bottle.
If the Chicago Fire could get in the World Cup, what's stopping you, Tim? I keep calling them the Tims. You just become the Timberlands. It makes my life so much easier.
No, but this is officially licensed kombucha. Of course, the Portland Thorns and the Portland Timbers have kombucha.
You couldn't be more Portland unless the can was made out of wood. It's the only way that makes us more Portland.
My kombucha tastes like strong sense of oak. I'm getting out of here.
I got a couple of splinters in my lip, but this is beautiful.
So we got sent this kombucha.
So we were told that this is delicious kombucha. Now, if you don't know what kombucha is, it's fermented tea. There's a thing that grows on the top of it. It's a white discus that smells the way the subway you don't want to sit in smells. And that's called the mother. And I believe there's another word after that. The motherfucker. Get that thing out of here. If you saw it without knowing what it was, you'd think to burn it, okay? Burn it so it doesn't take over your apartment. But apparently that's a good thing, right? Your girlfriend's into kombucha,
yes,
right?
Yes.
She's a bit of a Booch. Booch fan?
I tell her all the time, I'm like, Booch, get over here. Bitch, wait.
Not bitch,
Not
Booch.
Not bitch.
Booch.
I would never call her that.
Yeah, you're being a stupid Booch right now. Why do people take us seriously, ever? You've heard the show, right? You think you were going to send us this and we weren't going to make that reference?
No, if I said that, she would hit me with this kombucha bottle.
So you'd be crying like a little Booch. So this is Brew Doctor kombucha. I have in my hands strawberry basil. Strawberry basil and green tea.
Yeah, I have mint lemonade.
The good stuff. We've been making our organic, 100% raw kombucha good. I don't like that cooked kombucha. Since 2008, using the same whole leaf teas and botanicals that we serve at our tea house. Now, hold on. I know what's legal out there. What botanicals are you talking about? Every batch contains trillions of naturally occurring live culture. How you get them on this little can? We're proud to offer you authentic kombucha at Astasia's. Here's my first problem. It's a tall boy. Do we really need 16 full ounces of Booch?
Okay.
All right. I'll do this. All right. Okay. Here's my thing about kombucha. It always smells just a little bit like it went bad, right? That smell naturally occurs in nature so that you know not to eat it.
Sure, it's something.
In Portland, they're like, nah, man, throw a little bit of basil on it.
It's ripe.
I feel like this is gonna cure my rash. You know. All right, here
Okay,
we
so
go.
cheers.
Which one do you have? You have mint lemonade.
I have mint lemonade. You have
Salud.
strawberry basil. Salud.
Please
All right.
recycle. I'll recycle the whole damn thing if it sucks. Okay. It's actually really good.
This is very good.
Actually, okay. It's so good. I don't think there's actually kombucha in this.
I think there's Pepsi in here, man.
Yeah, bro. I think they just blended up KFC.
Because this is delicious.
I think there's 13 spices up in this joint. No. All right, dead ass. It has that little bit of sourness to it, but I kind of like it. It almost tastes like a little bit of apple cider vinegar got in your drink.
Yeah.
A little bit of it.
It's not too kombucha-y.
No.
Best way to-
Low on the booch.
Now, low on the yeah.
But I got to be honest, the first thing you taste is the strawberry. The basil kind of goes up your oral refractory, okay? It goes up your nose a little bit.
Okay.
And you get that sort of floralness.
All right. I didn't know what kind of show this was.
You know? I don't know what. First of all, we're talking about booching. Now we're talking about oral. You know? Anything can happen. You have a fan.
Okay.
You have a fan in me.
Yeah.
Brew Doctor.
This is very good. We have some extra, but we'll give it to you guys. We have some extra. You can grab that one if anybody wants to grab that one.
Yeah, there's a strawberry basil over
Felix,
there.
if you want to grab this one right here, please take it.
Shouts to you, Felix. Shouts to you. All right. Gets in the shot.
We do have another guest who just walked in. Peter, everybody.
Shouts to Peter.
Peter. Also, Gully Squad members. That's why they're
We
here.
keep telling you, if you want to watch the show, just let us know. They just dapped each other up. Okay.
All right.
Hello, Gully. Me, Gully.
So
Okay, no, for real. Shouts to Brew Doctor. This is actually pretty great stuff.
All right. Drew Doctor would be a great name too.
Drew Doctor.
So
And
yeah.
they have a Thorns chant. Let's go, Thorns FC. Tasty kombucha for you and me. Scarves up, sing loud. The girls in red make us proud. Look at that.
Okay, and there's also a chant here for the Timbers one. It says, mint and lemons, fizzy, tasty, tasty, fizzy. Booch, booch, booch.
Please tell me you improvised that.
No.
It says it on the side.
It's right there. It says,
I need to read this. Here, let me see this.
mint and lemons.
Mints and lemons, fizzy, tasty, tasty, fizzy, booch, booch, booch. We did not make that
We
up.
didn't make it up. All right.
Who is your marketing department? And they've been dabbling in some of that legal Portland stuff. All right, Kaylin Knapp, man. What did you tell us about
She didn't
this?
make it.
No, but what do you tell us
No,
about
but and
this?
that was John Griffin, who works for Brew Doctor.
I really like this stuff.
We met John at the he was here when the Timbers were playing NYCFC, and we met him at the women's national team game.
Yeah. Great dude.
At Dumbo.
And he straight up, he was like, "Yo, you're gonna like my kombucha." I'm like, "I'm gonna hate it." Yo, you were right.
All right,
I'll take it.
I never met someone from Oregon with this much confidence.
Yeah. He was in a jail squat and everything. I was like, "Yo, my guy."
So,
All right, let's talk about soccer. Soccer did happen. Oh, wait, hold on. We also have this cool bottle that we got as a gift for being a part of MLS All-Star.
Yeah.
And, of course, my dude got Stay Gully on the side.
that's right. Yeah,
Okay.
has the NYCFC logo.
That's
Reppin'.
right. I put Cooligans on mine and no logo, okay, because I wanted to resell it. But shouts. We also both picked the one that's big enough to hold an entire bottle of wine.
Okay.
That's what it is.
I'm definitely not gonna. I'm not drinking wine just straight up like after a pickup game.
Well, no. Who says you need to use this after a pickup game? I say sneak this into a movie. That's what I would suggest.
Yes.
And, of course, we got Plátano phones.
We got Platinum phones. Yeah, so these are the ones that we got in Orlando. You may have seen the photos online. They have their plantains with antennas coming out of them.
This is absolutely insane. The iPlatano X, as they called it. Look, it says it on the side.
iPlatano X right there. Has the area code for Dominican Republic, 809 right there.
809.
So again, thanks to Ivan and King Zoe for making these for us, man. This is
Absolutely awesome. Great
Unbelievable.
dudes. Great meeting them.
What a
And we have another gift that they gave us, which we're going to show you in a few weeks.
exactly.
So dope. And then obviously Wells Fargo. Shouts to Wells Fargo for, whatever, sponsoring EMLS, which was the event we were a part of.
All right. So given that we've mentioned all this stuff, let's just mention to give a shout out to our sponsor for today, SeatGeek, sponsoring today's show. If you guys want to go to any game, but like speaking NWSL game that got moved to Rebel Arena. Sky Blue against
Shouts to Sky Blue and Cloud9. They're going to get to party in Rebel
against
Arena.
Reign. I believe that's August 18th, if I'm not mistaken. So they're going to be playing at Rebel Arena. Get tickets on SeatGeek if you want to go to that game.
You want to save some money on that game? How about that, huh? You want to save yourself a little bit of money? Now you don't have to go all the way to Rutgers, right? That's where they were playing?
Yeah, in that area.
And now you get to save a little money. We're going to save you even more money because if you use the code Cooligans on your first order, you're going to get $10 off.
Exactly. And if you've never been to an NWSL game and this is the first opportunity for you to go to this game. It's at least a little bit closer to the city, and you can support the NWSL. So make sure, use the promo code Cooligans, and you will get $10 off your first order. So
That's right. And any event you want. It's not just soccer. They got a bunch of stuff. They got that cool color code: green, yellow, red. Green means it's an amazing deal. Yellow means like, yo, maybe buy right now. Red was like, yo, we can't do nothing for you. Because that's what they do. They aggregate all the ticket sales from all the other sites. So instead of going searching 1,000 sites, they do it for you. Put in Cooligans, get $10 off.
Exactly. On the app. Download the app as well. Make sure
Get
you do
the app,
that.
baby.
Okay. So let's talk about Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, let's do it.
Wayne Rooney.
Se va.
Se va. Se fue.
Se fue. No, not yet. He's
Not
back though.
So this is a sort of weird thing, right? He just announced today he's going to be the player coach for Derby County, right? Which was Frank Lampard's previous club where he was just
Was
coaching,
there for a year.
and now he's the head coach of Chelsea.
Yeah. What is it? Philip Koku is their current manager who played for Barcelona.
Yeah.
I think he's from the Netherlands, if I'm not mistaken. So he's not going to be a player manager. He's just going to be one of the coaches.
Sure. I mean, not a great feeling to be hired as a new coach, and they're like, hey, you know what? We're going to hire another coach.
We got to bring somebody else in.
He's also going to be playing on the pitch.
Yeah.
Why you coaching?
We might have to make some room in your office.
So, kind of a weird story. Wayne Rooney was supposed to be here. His contract was supposed
Till
to end.
2021.
Yes, so the end of 2021, or till 2021, or
Yeah.
end of 2021.
Whatever, we get it. We said
It was like a
2021.
3-year deal.
Facts aren't important.
Not on this show.
No.
So, but
You know Total Soccer Show is going to do 7 episodes on this. So why would you even worry about the facts? You're going to get it.
yes, I can't wait for the Soccer 101 episode about it. But Wayne Rooney making this announcement. This is all sort of weird because
I don't think it's that weird because apparently rumor is his family didn't enjoy being in the U.S. I have a feeling recent news reports have something to do with it.
That's what I'm talking about. And that's what I was going to get to. I genuinely feel hearing after mass shooting, of course the family's gonna be like, I don't want to be here, especially in DC, at the heart of all the the debate
And you're technically in the South, right? Where guns are a bit more prevalent. You know, some of those states around DC, they're a bit more legal than they are.
We call DC the South.
I mean, it's near Virginia, and I would consider Virginia the South.
Okay.
Right?
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I've been to some parts of South Jersey where I'm like, why y'all got Southern accents? so, I mean, that ass.
Okay, that's fair.
Yo, if you listen to country music, my guy, you in the South. Dead ass, I'm done.
I don't care if you in Toronto.
Yeah. Why you in Southern Toronto right now? And yo, shouts to the South. We have a bunch of amazing people we met in the South. I don't want to shit on the South. That's not what this is about. But I will say, I do think recent news reports have inspired his sort of wanting to, or maybe an increased want of his to go back to the UK.
Yeah.
I think he looked at his kids and he's like, look, they might be able to take a knife, but I don't want them. Yeah.
Did he? Wow, what a great dad for him to say that.
I think this kid could get shanked and he'd be all right. He got strong bones.
Terrible.
I'm telling you, it's the Booch stuff.
So, that was one of the things that crossed my mind. So,
He hasn't. No one said this, by the way. This is just speculation, which is what you come here for.
Speculation, exaggeration,
Yeah.
wild rumors.
Yeah. Hyperbole, spelled H-I-G-H. Hyperbole.
So, this is what a couple weeks ago, he's knocking in a ball from 70 yards, right?
Look how much fun he had at the MLS All-Star Challenge, the Skills Challenge.
Did he in that heat? I don't know about that.
He looked like he was having a blast. Yeah, he lost, but still. I mean, everything seemed like it was okay until all of a sudden he's on a flight to the UK.
The fact that it happened so fast and there was no real rumors about it,
Right.
it does feel like, hey, recent news is like I don't want to be here very long. So
Yeah.
Pablo Mar was covering
He was
it,
on top of all this.
and it's the. We were just there, right? We were just in DC, and I mean, was it us? I don't know. Did we do
Oh
something?
my God, yo! Imagine he's leaving because of our sets. Oh, he was like, "This is what y'all call comedy."
He's
I gotta
like,
go back.
you let them into Audi Field? I don't really know.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's not that special of a place anymore. You know. Lucha Acosta trying to fit in his carry-on. You know it. You know, you're like, yo, I'm going with you, homie.
I mean, no, we know he definitely actually fits.
Yeah,
as
no,
well.
for sure. Overhead compartment, that's cool. Just give me a pillow. I'll be all right.
So, so I don't know. It's DC United. It's they're losing him on a free, right? They're just a kind of like it's like a marriage that's being annulled, right? It's just like
Right.
they're not getting anything out of it, and now they're probably gonna lose Lucho Acosta at the end of the season. So all of a sudden, DC United are they gonna go back to like the early 2000s?
2 years ago,
DC United and stuff like that. Like it's like how. Fat like this boomerang effect of
Yeah.
just like them returning to like their struggles.
Well,
So
who
it's just
knows? Maybe they just got Ola Kamara, right? Maybe they get some money from the Lucha Acosta deal.
Like, did they get Ola Kamara? Because I did not read that.
Yes.
I heard rumors.
No, I thought it was official.
Anybody confirmed? Because I have not heard this.
Why are you looking at the audience?
I just
Yeah, they got no reception up here, but I was under the impression that was a done deal.
okay, and
Apparently, yeah,
oh, so it was okay.
yeah.
All right, so I guess he's coming back. All right, yeah, he is there. All right, cool. I just Alexis says stuff on this show that occasionally
Didn't we announce someone's retirement once and it wasn't true?
Yes, we cut it out of the show.
Yeah.
That did happen. That wasn't recent. It was like a year ago. But yes,
We dead ass
Just
talked
an
for like 25
accidentally-
minutes. We talked about 25 minutes about someone's retirement. Great, hate to see you go. And then we go with it. We're like, where did that come from? He never said it.
nobody's like we just
It
like
was nowhere. Like our Google search is the only existence of those two words, that
just-
player's name and retirement
we
together.
just thought it was real.
We
You know?
both like I don't know where we said it. We're like, yeah, this sounds right. And we just talked about it for like 25 minutes.
So yeah, unfortunate. I've been excited to see Wayne Rooney play, and he does add a lot of attention to this league. But to him to leave that quickly is a little bit of a disappointment.
He needs to go somewhere with much more cloud cover. He's just not built for this.
Okay.
For this climate, man. He legitimately looks 75 years old out there.
He's gonna look even older when he's playing at Derby County. So.
Yeah.
So the a couple other things I wanted to talk about. Maybe one more serious subject because I don't know if you saw this. We didn't talk about this beforehand. Did you see the attack in Seattle? There were
Yes, I did.
okay. So there were a group of
I think they're Proud
Boys or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, Nazi, whatever. I don't know, whatever the label is. Not good people.
Yeah, baddies. Can we say that?
And there was a march to the match for the Seattle Sounders,
Which they always do.
which they always do, and there were people being harassed by these like Proud Boy dudes. And
Yeah,
then-
these guys came out trying to instigate a fight so they could get it on video.
exactly. And they had they were carrying around a giant flag.
Yeah, the one guy had like an American flag in his back.
Yeah.
Like it's like sticking out of the back of his
So
shirt.
I wanted to just point this out just because, look, this is a subject that's come up often. We talked about it in regards to NYCFC as well with some fans, that are clearly, not good people.
Right.
And they are there, right?
Right.
And we've seen it. I mean, it's just, so I want to talk about it in regard to MLS's the policy of like being apolitical, and when we talked about this with Total Soccer Show
Right.
about like remember the Iron Guard, the three
arrows pointing down.
pointing down, about this being like this sort of rebellious symbol for like the Nazi party
During Germany,
During
during the
Germany.
Nazi rule
And
of
these were the
Germany, these
people-
guys sprung up to try to sort of
So,
counter that.
look, MLS fans are getting attacked by people that have these ideologies.
Right.
And being apolitical is not getting us anywhere.
Right.
Like there has to be, we Daryl made the point as well. Like there is a right side, and we should all look to be on it, as opposed to staying silent on the issue.
Right.
And I saw the video. There was a dude who just got punched in his face, a Sounders fan. And it's just disgusting to see, right? And the fact that
also, you just shouldn't be attacked on the way to a game. This
you
isn't-
shouldn't.
This isn't England. This isn't
And the
Italy,
point,
where
and
things
I'm not,
like that happen
you know,
sometimes.
I'm not saying MLS is responsible for this attack because
No.
clearly they cannot control human beings that are just want to be violent.
Yeah, even if you ban those folks, it doesn't stop them from walking up to people as they march to the game.
Of course.
But no fan should feel threatened on that march to the game.
They shouldn't.
No.
But-
also, there's also strength in numbers, and I don't know how this dude was alone either. I'm like, where are the other fans? You know what I mean?
I mean, look, I'm not even going to say that because
I'm not blaming the fans. I'm saying, like, what happened that this dude was sort of alone?
there were people who defended him, and
Yeah.
there were people who looked after him.
And shouts to, what is it,
if you-
ECS? What's the name of the group?
ECS, yeah.
Shouts to ECS for not really letting these guys instigate them other than this
Exactly,
one
because
incident.
if you get into a huge giant fight with these people, they get exactly what they want.
Right.
And it's like, oh, look at these Antifa people, they're beating us. Like, whatever. Shouts to those people from those Sounders fans that kept their cool and didn't allow themselves to be antagonized. The main point is that if we're going to support a league that is wants to clean their hands and wash their hands of this stuff, like, it's getting more difficult. Like, we can't control everybody.
No.
But we have to have a resounding, clear message that this stuff is, one, not tolerated, and that these people are not welcome, and that yes, you know, it's not soccer for all. It's not.
It's soccer for all who also want soccer for all.
Exactly. And it's like,
I don't think that's that difficult of a statement to make. Like, Cooligans are here for everybody, as long as you're also here for everybody.
there has to be some clear lines drawn about, like, what's not cool, because it can get out of hand, and you see it. And I don't want it to get there, but you see it in Italy. You see it in Argentina, where these groups are so huge that the teams can't do anything. Police can't do anything because
Nobody
they're
can.
too organized. There's hundreds, there's thousands that show up at a game and do the monkey chants and whatever. And you can't. It gets to a point where the snowball is just too huge, and now it's like destroying the city or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, something has to be. There has to be, like, a stronger message. That's all, because it is getting kind of ridiculous where people.
And it's not one of those things that happens in the background. This needs to be very present. It needs to be, you know, said in a statement, strongly worded, saying that, you know, as a league, you don't put up with this. As a league, we don't tolerate this kind of stuff. And make it a point. I mean, the fact that ECS now probably has to get security for the next March is ridiculous.
But to ban symbolism that is. Like, they just want to watch. They're like, no, you can't even do an anti-Nazi thing. You can't, because we don't want any problems with nobody. Like, yo, you know, that whatever that
don't
symbol.
work.
It's like, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
That, as much as you may want to do that. Like,
can't be Switzerland.
It's just like it can't be kids get on your corners and stop fighting.
Yeah.
Because that's not going to happen, because people are actually going to get hurt with that kind of mentality. It's going to require a little bit of courage to kind of get in front of this stuff, but there's no other real way around it. It can't be. We can't ban the good people from doing, you know, positive symbolism.
Right.
You know, because it's gonna get out of hand. It's ridiculous.
Here's what we need. We need the Nation of Islam to march with ECS.
Bro, there will.
My guy, I bet
Yo.
you won't say jack shit.
Say something,
I dare you.
okay?
I dare you.
Because-
Talk to that man with that red bow tie right now. I dare you.
Because they're gonna be talking to you for 25 minutes.
Yo, just
straight.
honestly, just reading to you. Yo, deadass, remember the movie? I think it was called Brooklyn's Finest. I can't remember the actor that was in it. It was about police in, like, Brownsville. They shot it in Brownsville. The city of New York said, we can't protect the production. The city of Brownsville at that time in particular was very, very sort of volatile.
Yeah.
And they're like, we cannot be there. It's not going to make you any safer if we're there. We can't help you. We suggest you don't film here. The director really wanted to film in those projects. So he's like, no, we're going to do it. They got the Nation of Islam to protect him, and everything was fine. Now, I dare you. 6 guys, chubby-looking dudes. Wait, cargo shorts and with like the sale rack Nikes. I dare you guys to say some shit to those tall dudes wearing red bow ties. I would love to see it. I would love to
man.
see it.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. I hated seeing that because, this, especially American soccer fans, are like, we've been around this country. They're the sweetest people you're going to meet.
Gems across the entire league. And I know some teams don't like other teams' fans, whatever the case may be. There's bad people in all fan bases across the league. But most of the people we've met, the people who come to Cooligans, the people that we attract, seem to be some of the sweetest, most nicest people and just want to have a fun time every week for 90 minutes. And they want to, help communities and do other things. And they're doing such incredible stuff. Those are the people we want to surround ourselves with. But the other people can grow. And that if you have a symptom you don't look at, next thing you know, you're very sick. And that can happen very, very quickly. So we need to sort of nip this at the bud very quickly.
Yeah. So that's it. I mean, there's not too much to say about it. Yeah.
Thank you. Look at that.
Look at that. This is what
I know my brain hurts.
is it?
I have no sexual innuendos in that.
I think that's what happens when people are just, because we don't have an audience, so people listen to the show. They must be like, oh, I'm just clapping on the subway. Just
People, and they're like, look, I know we got another crazy person on the subway, laughing to themselves, yelling out, Booch.
Hit him with the Booch.
Get on my seat, you Booch.
Let's take a quick break because we do have a guest with us who's going to be calling in.
I can't believe it. We're doing another Skype call.
Yeah, so Kristan Heneage is going to be calling in.
The homie.
All the way from, I don't know, he's in, I believe he's in Newcastle is my guess, but I
believe he's in Newcastle.
So we'll confirm. He said he was in the countryside when I was messaging him. So
which could be anything.
Who knows what that means? I think everywhere that
imagine he's out by a tree. How do you get Wi-Fi out there?
I feel like England in general sounds like the countryside, no matter where you are. You know what I mean? Like
you got London, and then that's it.
So
a lot of strong grass because it rains there so much.
So we're gonna talk to him. The Premier League is starting this weekend. I don't even know what's going on with that. I've been paying attention to American soccer. That's the only thing I've been following. So, but we'll talk to him.
I'm an Arsenal fan. We got no backline.
But Kristan Heneage, he also covers NYCFC because he lives in New York regularly.
Yes, right.
So we'll talk to him about that. So we'll be right back with Kristan Heneage after this.
Hey, everybody, thanks so much for listening to the podcast. We just have a word from one of our sponsors, On the Volley Apparel.
That's right. On the Volley Apparel, you've seen us wear hats. You've seen us wear that shirt, the Strike and Defense shirt from On the Volley. You can go to onthevolleyapparel.com/Cooligans, and you can get it's our little merch store.
It's our merch store, which is pretty cool. I mean, look, some of you guys have actually gotten the chance to meet Elvis. Absolutely great dude. He runs On the Volley Apparel. He's trying to do stuff for the soccer community that no one else is doing. He's mixing a little bit of that hip hop flair. He's mixing a little bit of that West Coast flair. He's mixing in skater stuff. This is actually a skater defense shirt. I didn't know that. Not a skater dude.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
No one should put me on anything with wheels unless there's a gas pedal and a door and a seat. Very safe. But yeah, he's doing such cool stuff. He's trying to blend a lot of the cultures we grew up with, and he's mixing it with soccer. He's doing stuff no one else is doing. So who better to do our merch?
Exactly.
So if you want anything in their store, whether it's our merch or not, all you have to do is go to onthevolleyapparel.com, put in the code Cooligans, and you're going to get yourself 20% off
20%
anything.
off the entire store. So it's a pretty good deal.
Yo, dude, buy one of everything.
If you can afford to buy one of everything, you should just be giving us money, man.
Yeah, bro. We might add a $1,000 level to Gully Squad, my guy.
Okay. And yes, and you can pick up, that's where you can pick up our Cooligans talisman cap as well. So feel free to do that. So onthevolleyapparel.com/Cooligans, and at the store, use the promo code Cooligans, and you'll get 20% off everything in the store. So make sure you do that.
Yeah, baby, we're back.
All right, we are. And pretty thrilled because...
you sound it.
Sure. My
I think
energy.
the Booch is getting to us, to be completely honest.
Oh yeah, my kombucha has 48% alcohol. What about yours?
Oh no.
No, man, this is exciting because our next guest is someone who we've had pizza with. We've broken,
bread.
Broken bread.
Broken crust with this man.
He is currently calling in all the way from Durham in England.
Just south of Newcastle upon Tyne.
Yes.
Well, upon the Cooligans is the one, the only, unless you're driving, put your hands together, for Kristan Heneage, everybody.
Hello, Kristan.
Hello, guys. Thanks for having me.
Was the first time we got an applause for our Skype-in person, which
That's
is
right.
kind of nice. It must feel pretty good, Kristan. I hope you enjoyed that.
This is the self-esteem boost I desperately need in 2019, I must admit.
This is America, baby. We clap for anything. But
So-
dude, it's great to talk to you. You're out all the way near Newcastle. Premier League season is starting.
Yeah.
Right? Are we excited? How are we feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good. I think it's exciting in the sense that you've got a lot of brand new faces to welcome that I think will change the way the league looks and the way that actually we see at least the top six operate. There's potential for a little bit of breakage in between what we kind of consider the established dominance. So that to me is always going to be quite exciting.
Before we get into the meat and potatoes of all this soccer stuff,
Well, now I'm hungry.
let's, Kristan, we met you when in New York. You're currently in England, but you're coming back, right? So and you're making America your home. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, I should be back before the end of the year.
Okay, cool.
Sweet.
And you had gotten engaged to a Costa Rican woman, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, no, this is absolutely. I'm so glad you read my bio that I sent over.
Actually,
Yes,
dude,
this
we're
is all
right
true.
behind you, dude.
No, but this is exciting because you don't really.
But she's not just Costa Rican. She's also from New York.
She's from New York. That's what I'm saying. It's like you don't always get to see, a dude, from Newcastle,
from the countryside.
ending up marrying a Costa Rican woman from New York.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting.
A tico from New York. No comment. I got smart man. He's like, she hears everything, yeah. I mean, the food alone must have been just a culture shock, Kristan.
I am still haunted by the fact that I asked the question, "Why are you frying those bananas?" when I was served Maduros the first time.
There it is.
You asked that question once. Actually, we have her on our Platano phones.
We have her. We're gonna get her on the line. Trust me. So
Yeah, you asked that question once, never again.
all right, cool. We got instead of pizza, we gotta have maybe some Dominican food with Kristan
Okay.
next time he's in
Go
town.
get some Cuban sandwiches. Okay.
So before Premier League stuff,
Yeah.
let's focus on instead of the entire league. I've read a lot of your coverage about Newcastle. That I feel like that is your you're an expert on the team. That's my best sort of thing to like apply on you. For some of we have a lot of Atlanta United fans. What has the effect of Miguel Almiron been on the club? What do you think we can expect going forward, especially since Rafa Benitez is not there? I've heard rumors that Almiron doesn't really want to be there anymore since Benitez left. So what do you sort of expect out of him in the coming season?
Yeah, so I think to focus on his arrival, that was great. Was met with huge excitement because it broke a transfer record in theory. It gave the team pace. It gave them energy. And if you watch them in that sort of 6 months that he was there to begin with, yes, he didn't register a goal or assist, but the way that the team played completely changed. They could stretch defenses. He would run in behind. He would run for days. That was. You talk to any Newcastle fan that maybe wasn't familiar with Miguel before he arrived, and they all kind of said, the kid just runs. He just runs and runs, and it's exciting to watch. And there were just little moments where you saw that impact. He won a free kick that Solomon Rondon converted against Bournemouth. That, to me, is the greatest example of why did Rafa Benitez want Miguel Almiron, because he can burst 60 yards and leave guys in his wake with no real issue. The preseason for him has been a bit tough because, again, we've seen those same qualities, but he hasn't got that goal or assist. And I think the fan base en masse are just willing him to get that first goal, that first assist, whether it's a friendly or a competitive match. They're not bothered. They just want to see that pressure come off him a little bit because he does at least seem, I think, outwardly with his body language, like it's bothering him a little bit. In terms of his future, he's going to be playing up front with Joelinton, who's a big Brazilian striker they've just signed for 40 million, and potentially, depending on whether Bruce goes with 2 or 3 up top, a French winger called Alain Saint-Maximin, he's a bag of character and charisma, to be honest. He wears a Gucci headband to play football, so I think that's the best way I can articulate what he's like.
I mean, isn't, playing for Steve Bruce, like the guys you hear, like Steve Bruce, Sam Allardyce, Tony Pulis, There's one or two that I'm forgetting. Mark Hughes, right? Guys like this, like
Pardue.
Alan Pardue,
Alan
yeah.
Pardue.
Like these guys are like these are the guys you call in when you fear you're going to get relegated. These aren't the guys you want to start your season with. Steve Bruce, from the last I remember of him, was much more of a Route One manager. You know, the old thump it and chase it. I don't think Almirón is going to have a good time in that type of system.
And I'll add this: if it was MLS, Almirón would have had the second assist. You know, he would have had like 6 or 7 assists at Newcastle if the second assist had counted.
Right, MLS assist.
So
exactly.
It's a change that maybe they could kind of add in the future.
Right. Is there a chance that maybe we could see Almirón moved before the transfer window's open, or is Newcastle going in hoping that this guy is a part of their attack?
I'd be shocked if he moved at this point. The window closes Thursday in England, so you would theoretically want a replacement. I think with it being only 6 months, there's no doubting they bought Almirón to flip him for a profit. That's kind of their MO at Newcastle. In terms of Bruce and the tactical plan, I think personally from what I've seen of this team in preseason, Steve Bruce has come in and accepted and realized Rafa Benitez had this team working incredibly well. And why change that? Why come in and try and do something drastically different when he can keep the formation the same, which he largely has with that back three, wing backs, couple midfielders, and then guys up front who do the creative stuff. That should be good for Miguel because it works well for him as well. Because yes, he's asked to press, but at the same time, he doesn't have to get all the way back, all the way up. He can kind of hover in the final third and do things when the team breaks on transition. And that's a great role for him. I think this first 6 months, now that he's had a settled preseason, he's been able to acclimatize a bit more, it's going to be important for him because, like I said, he does kind of need those goals and assists. I think you make a great point when you say he'd have got some MLS assists last season because of just the way he played.
I make great points,
that's not
Kristan.
the
I don't know what to tell you.
I've long thought that.
Also, I'll try. One day I will as well.
No, there is a. I'm curious about your coverage, because you are a journalist in the UK, and you've also been a journalist here. You've covered American soccer. What has sort of been the culture of the not solely of how the sport is covered? I know they're clearly different, but the being in the press room at a Newcastle game versus being in the press room at a NYCFC game, like what are the stark differences in how you feel when you're in both of those kind of environments? What are the main differences between the two?
I think it's funny you asked that because with the sort of emergence of The Athletic this week, we've kind of all stopped and looked at the situation with our industry and where it's heading. I think just because of the age of English football, it's just a lot more established, that media part, the idea of newspapers and TV. And I think from what I've seen on the outside with the US side of things, there's more encouragement for sort of fan-led initiatives to come in and ask questions and interact with the players and have these moments, even people, like yourselves. And to me, it's a great difference to have because actually in England, you don't really get that opportunity. It's very, very limited. There are only a few even outlets who I would call sort of fan media that I could think of that have had that kind of access. And it does often produce good results. But again, there's a very established hierarchy of traditional newspaper broadcast journalists who get the access to the players and the coaches. And I think because of that, you can get a bit of a format of the way that you cover the game. And so I think fresh eyes give a fresh perspective a lot of the time.
So how angry do you think people were when they saw that photo of us with Hector Bellerin, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and Rob Holding?
Yeah.
England must have been furious. Like, who are these idiots? Why are they in this photo?
I hope that fat one doesn't step on Rob Holding's foot.
They must have lost their minds, Kristan.
I think the first question was, do those chaps have an album out? I think that's
that is the great. Wait, you know what? We need some boy band names for that photo.
Yeah, we do.
Because that's an album cover if I've ever seen one.
It's starring no one at the back. The official Arsenal.
No backup vocals whatsoever.
So let's talk a little bit about Wayne Rooney. He's going over to Derby County
at the end of the MLS season.
Yeah, at the end of the MLS season. It's been announced also by MLS media, so that makes it official. Everyone agrees. Supposedly, it happened pretty quickly. His family didn't really enjoy being here. But he's going to go as a player coach, and he's going to the championship, which is, I mean, I kind of take a little bit of offense to that. No?
Yeah, I mean, if it's like if MLS is the quote unquote retirement league, what is the championship? All right, it has to be beneath, right?
I mean, the guy had to go get another job. He's a coach now.
It's the geriatric league. Well, I don't know what else it could be called.
I don't think there was a question there, but Kristan, talk about it.
I think, look, it's difficult for Wayne because he's never lived outside of England. And I think there's a quote from Garth Lagerwey that's been circulating a lot lately in terms of when you sign a big money player like that, it really helps if they've lived abroad before because it shows they can acclimatize, or at least they're potentially willing to if they've struggled before because they know what's coming down the turnpike, so to speak. In terms of his return, I think it's been fairly public that his family weren't as settled as he would have liked them to be, and he possibly would have stayed if that wasn't an issue. In terms of him going back, I think he spoke last month to Sky about the fact that he was on the path with his coaching badges. He wanted to look into that. And for Derby, yeah, it's a funny deal because they've spent most of the summer talking about the idea of player development, and we don't really want to sign a player unless there's not a prospect within our ranks already that can fill that spot. And yet they've gone out and spent, I think, $7.5 million rising to 10 on Christian Bielik from Arsenal, and now they're bringing Wayne Rooney in on, I imagine, a decent wage, which will in part kind of appease this FFP, financial fair play, because he's a coach. It's all very complicated and a little bit confusing at times. But yeah, it's a tough one for him and DC because I think it's a massive blow to lose someone like him. The curiosity for me is what's the next step. It's that Miles Davis quote I always think of. It's not about the bum note that you hit, it's about the one afterwards. So whoever they sign will dictate how big a blow this is for DC United.
Well, we have a little bit of potentially breaking news. I mean, it's rumor right now.
Well, I mean, look at the publication.
I know, which is I'm going to mention. It's being referenced by The Sun, which I believe is your New York Times, and Sport Bible, and it says Bible. Okay.
And it's never wrong. The Bible's not one word.
The Bible, 100% true. Sarcasm. But learning out some sarcasm. They are suggesting that Arsenal star Mesut Ozil's representatives will meet with DC representatives next week. DC United, Mesut Ozil going to DC United. Who knows if it's true? Again, transfer rumors out of England sometimes are wild.
But he was just there, right, for the ICC.
That's right.
So I don't know if he played in that game.
He tried mumbo sauce, and he's like, yo, I got to stay here. This is it.
That's what keeps everybody in D.C.
He heard go-go music, and he was like, yo, I like this. But, like, what's our first reaction, Kristan? Have you heard this rumor yet, and what are you thinking?
Yeah, I've heard it. I mean, either way, he's going to end up in the nation's capital on big money with a team that last won the league in 2004. So is much changing really for Mesut Ozil?
Ouch.
I think it would be a huge statement for DC. It would be a huge statement. I think, Arsenal need to get rid of him. I think that's the one thing you can say with certainty. He just doesn't fit that club anymore. It's not that he's a bad player. I think the very polarizing nature in which we discuss Mesut Ozil is quite dangerous sometimes because he's not a bad footballer. He's clearly not a bad footballer. You look at enough of his analytics and his metrics in terms of creation, he's very good, but he just doesn't fit that Arsenal team as it stands right now. And I think for that reason alone, they need to kind of come to some agreement that can benefit both him and Arsenal, which DC United would most definitely be that.
I don't know, 350,000 pounds a week, which is what, about 420, I guess, right? 450, let's say, a week. $450,000 a week. I don't think any MLS team is paying that.
Not even close. No, that's not happening.
And that would just mean him earning the same. I can't imagine. I mean, it seems to me like maybe China's the only thing. But look, I mean, these types of rumors all spring up around this time. You mentioned Arsenal. Just as an Arsenal fan, somebody released a lineup. We know one of those charts where with the formation and the back line they had at left back they had God, at center back they had Will, at the other center back had said help, and right back it said us. And unless we give the other team knives and are running towards our goal, Kolasinac can help block them. But other than that, what is happening at Arsenal, and how are we going to have a 7-3-0 formation?
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I think when I talked about at the top there, the idea of that big six breaking up, it's because Manchester United and Arsenal, to me, had a lot of work to do this summer. And remember, we started the summer with talk about that Arsenal had about 40 to 45 million pounds to spend. That, it seems, was complete and utter codswallop. There's talk they want Daya Upamecano from RB Leipzig. They obviously have Saliba, who will come in next summer from Saint-Etienne. Patience, I think, is unfortunately what Arsenal fans are going to have to accept, which is something I imagine they feel like they've had to deal with for quite a while now.
Who's Patient? Where are they signing him from?
He's from Liga. Pajon's.
I think, to be fair, Nicolas Pepe is a good signing. I think he gives them a bit of width, a bit of creativity that they need. And at the same time, again, I know it's possibly not what Arsenal fans want to hear, but there's a little bubbling undercurrent of some really talented young players in there. Reece Nelson, Eddie Nketiah, who will likely go on loan before the window shuts. I think, and I'll be very careful when I say this, I think the future could be bright at Arsenal. I think they're starting to realise where they've gone wrong, and they're trying to correct that. Because you have to obviously preface everything with the fact that Laurent Koscielny has kind of thrown a bit of a spanner in the works by deciding that he wanted to leave. That's a big person, not just in terms of the defenders you've got available to you this season, but also captain. That's a big piece to pull out of that team and try and replace in not a lot of time. So I think they've done fairly well on the whole in terms of this summer and how they've dealt with the issues.
All right. So you've also, I always love reading your work because there's something, there's a lot of.
I can't believe you're not going on a little victory tour for Everton's summer.
I mean,
Moise Kean, Richarlison, and possibly Wilfried Zaha.
I mean, look, when they're banging in a bunch of goals, you'll see me doing backflips in here, okay?
Yeah.
Not just yet.
The most annoying part of that is he actually can do backflips. And I swear to God, I'll tackle him midway through and break his ankle.
I cannot do a backflip.
Shut up. He can do a backflip. The guy dunks. It's embarrassing.
So,
I dunk stuff into my coffee, okay?
I want you, I always love reading your work because, there's a certain level of, I don't know if it's sympathy or empathy that you have with American soccer and American soccer players.
It's a lack of condescension.
Yeah. Which is that. That's all. Well, I'm patting you on the back for being nice to us, Kristan.
You're not being a dick about it.
But I want to get your thoughts on Christian Pulisic, right? He is our American gem at Chelsea.
And how is Frank Lampard going to ruin his first year?
Exactly. Let us know how Lampard's going to ruin him for us. What do you expect out of Christian Pulisic? I've watched a couple of the preseason matches, and he's looked like he's fitting in, which I did not expect. But what are your thoughts, and what has been the response in England about Christian Pulisic signing with Chelsea?
I think at first there was just a bit of uncertainty because he had fallen out a little bit at Dortmund. He was not this prodigy that first kind of burst through, and in his place came Jadon Sancho, who was, again, I think still is seen as the most exciting young player in Europe. In terms of his actual move to Chelsea, I think it's a good one for him because there's part of me that feels a little bit sorry for Christian because his entire career has been, he's this prodigy, he's the next Landon Donovan. No, he's better than Donovan. He's got all these labels stuck on him, and he's not really allowed to just grow and be a footballer and discover what kind of player he is. I think at Chelsea he'll do that. I think under Frank's Derby team had a lot of promising young players in it. Harry Wilson springs to mind. Tom Lawrence, who is still there now. There's a lot of young, wide attackers that he worked with. Mason Mount, who will be at Chelsea with him next season, thrived in a central role after a season at Vitesse. I think Frank has shown, albeit in his brief managerial career, he does like working with young players. He seems to enjoy it more, possibly because they're more moldable. And I think that's the other thing to take away with Christian is that he's still at that age where he can be shaped and turned into what they need. Any summer that you lose someone like Eden Hazard, it's going to be difficult because he was, for me, the marquee player there for quite a while. He was the one that dragged them through games at times last season because the season with Sarri was just this odd contradiction of the fans weren't happy, but they won a European trophy. And, how do you kind of balance those two off? Are you happy? Are you sad? And then Frank, they've got what I've seen a lot of Chelsea fans talk about as a Chelsea man, someone they feel has a connection to them. And I think we're seeing a bit more of that sentimentality kind of creep into the Premier League with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Man United, and this idea of bring someone back who gets us, who understands us, so that if things go wrong, we're all kind of in this together and they get how serious this is. So that connection, I think, will be important for Christian because it will let him build a relationship with the supporters through Frank, who, again, will be able to tell him what it's like because he moved to that club at a young age from West Ham, having been very highly rated, having been seen as someone that was the future of England. So I think there's a lot of relatability between him and his coach that will make that transition a bit easier for him.
I think he. It seems to me like I remember talking to Jack Harrison, and he talked about how important Frank Lampard was to his development when they were both at NYCFC. So at the very least, to your point, he does seem to work really well with youth players. And Christian Pulisic, as much as we've put on his shoulders, is still technically a youth player, which is insane, or a young man at the very least. Let's talk a little bit about West Ham and Aaron Long's saga. I'm not sure if you've been following that along, but it looks like Aaron Long's agent is just out here spratting everybody on the internet. It's no holds barred.
Yes, Kristen, do you know what spratting means?
I will say this: if you hear that, you definitely should run. Not your, but that one. Aaron Long, who to me, I thought he was like 22 years old. Turns out he's 26, turning 27 pretty soon. Wants to leave. He's, I think, making just about $100,000 a year, if I'm not mistaken. He wants to go to West Ham. Nobody ever wants to go to West Ham, but he does. I guess talk a little bit about what you might have heard on your end, because on our end, it seems to be kind of stagnant at this point.
Yeah, so I think it's a really difficult one for Aaron because when he clearly joined the Red Bulls, the idea was it was about career progression, and they have sold themselves on that to a lot of young players. And they were very happy for Tyler when he left. I remember, in fact, I just read the press release the other day, and they talked about how proud they are. This move for me, having looked at West Ham in general, I think they're looking at him as a depth option. I don't think he would come in and start. And I think the fact that they looked at it and thought, you know what, we can probably get him for about 4 or 5 million, because you give it the context of how much Miazga went for. You then give it the context of how much Tyler went for. It puts it around that ballpark. And I can appreciate why his agent is frustrated without wanting to kind of cast aspersions on anything of his motivations. It's difficult when the club asks for then 15 million, which is supposedly what has been asked, $15 million, for a player that they don't think would benefit Salzburg or Leipzig, because that's potentially pricing him out of a move. And it comes back to that debate that I've had many a time about its value to the team and value on the market. On the market, Aaron is probably worth about, I would say, 5 to 7 million. But to the New York Red Bulls, who want to win something this season, and he's a key cog in their defense, he's worth 15 million. So it's a really difficult one about perspective and who you side with. I feel a little bit sorry for Aaron because I don't know if this chance comes around again, to be truthful with you. And that's not anything on his play. I think he's a very good defender. He also has to go through work permit situation, which could be complex and difficult because he just doesn't have that national team history. And I think England's work permit rules, if you like,
right?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the whole system, if I'm honest with you. I find it's a little bit lacking in nuance for players, and Aaron's a good example of that. So it's a really difficult one. I would hope for his sake, if it doesn't come off, he's able to kind of stay focused, because I've seen a lot of players get eaten up by that stuff and the frustration boil over in other ways.
I'm just glad that that it's comforting to know that after Brexit, all of this is going to be resolved.
Makes all this
We don't
easier.
say anyone.
Well, I mean, I feel terrible for players like Aaron Long because, like you said, if you're not going to get the opportunity to go up their ladder that system they have, which means Salzburg, Leipzig, if you're not going to get that opportunity, then you should be sold. And like Stuart Holden even came out and said, great defender, definitely would do a good job in a top Premier League team, is not worth $15 million. So he's sort of in this position where I guess they're playing chicken with his career, and that kind of sucks because this is potentially his biggest contract at 26 years old that he's going to get.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate. Kristen, before we let you go, I'm actually looking it up on my computer, and I can't find it, but there was something I wanted to talk to you about. There was a photo that was taken that was like fairly iconic, and I can't remember the photo, but I know that you were in it. You were in Yankee Stadium, and you were in the background of a photo. What photo was it?
That was Joseph Martinez and what was the name of the rapper? because I don't listen to that kind of
Waka
music.
Flocka. Was it Waka Flocka?
Yes, that was him. Yes. And I was looking wonderfully awkward, thinking I got out of shot
That's right.
when I actually hadn't.
there was a photo. It was when Atlanta played NYCFC. Waka Flocka is there with Joseph Martinez, and Kristan Heneage is just chilling in the back, like I don't belong here. With I don't belong here face, if that makes any sense. He was so hilariously uncomfortable.
Hold on, I haven't pulled up. Oh, this is great.
Yeah,
Kristan looks like security for one of these two punks. He's like, who's this guy standing next to Joseph Martinez?
And that was great. That was a good moment. Wow.
I actually got home that night. I can tell you, I got home, walked through the door, and I had been texting my fiance at the time. And as I walked through the door, she went, "You've never looked more white than in that photograph."
And that includes the time when you said, "What are plátanos?" So I am shocked.
Amazing.
Shouts to your lady. We got to get her a gulliest shirt.
Kristan, thank you so much for joining us, man. It's an absolute pleasure. Thanks for taking the time.
Where can people follow your work?
At Twitter, at KHENEAGE. Yeah, so check me out on there. Thanks for having me, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yes, and Kristan, you've written for pretty much
Guardian.
everything. The Guardian, The Sun. I'm kidding. Not The Sun.
The Moon. They got a lot of newspapers out there.
No, but Guardian, CNN, iPaper Sport, Odd Checker. Those are some of the ones listed on your Twitter handle. But you do cover American soccer as well, and it's great to see. So I'm glad that there are people from across the pond that show American soccer the respect and love that it's earned.
That's right. And thank you for not having a Geordie accent on this podcast and making it difficult for everyone to understand you.
My pleasure, guys. Thanks very much.
Thanks so much, buddy. What a wonderful interview, Kristan.
You gotta love Kristan.
Hilarious.
Yes, look at
round
that.
of applause for
Another
Kristan.
applause for Kristan. A great dude, and when he gets
Can we
back,
get an applause track for when no Gully Squad members are
guys,
here?
clap a bunch so we can record it.
Couple different. You're just gonna get that drop.
But Kristan's a great dude. It's like
Absolutely wonderful.
There
dude.
are.
I
Imagine you almost spilled.
dropped a lot of Booch.
I got Booch all over my laptop.
What am I supposed to do? My laptop's running faster all of a sudden.
So but Kristan, a great dude. We did get to hang out with him, and there's a lot of people in this like soccer business that are just like trying to cut your throat to get to the top or whatever. But Kristan's not one of those dudes.
No, he's not, man. He's just a great dude. And come back, buddy. We need you back in America so we can hang out and eat more pizza. But wonderful interview.
Because that's what's holding Alexis back.
Yeah. I need
Kristan.
more people to eat pizza with. Dude, I mean, a lot of crazy stuff happening, right? Mesut Ozil possibly going to DC United.
That'd be news. That'd be some news.
I bet you Everton signs him in the last second, and here we go. All of a sudden, Everton's a good team.
Yo, Everton's they're gonna be tough this season.
They're gonna be fun to watch, which you could not say last year.
You know what? I could,
stretches
and
of
I
it.
did say it. Okay, all right, because I love 7th place.
Yeah.
It's my favorite place to be.
Tastes delicious. Whatever, you're in the top half of the Prem. That's not bad.
Sure.
So much. We didn't even get to talk about the games. There were games.
There were.
We didn't even get to talk about Roman Torres.
We think it's Roman
Taking
Torres.
him injections. Normally, butt injections would be something else in Latin America.
Yeah, he went to
And which, by
Dominican.
the way, if you get those, you are not suspended. Okay.
Exactly. He went to Dominican Republic to Cardi B's doctor to get them injection.
He's like, I wanna box out a little bit better.
Okay, I need some girth. All right.
Trying to get these birthing hips look right. Why does anyone listen to the show? Why do you do it? Why do you do it?
So yes, maybe that's how we'll end the show. Roman Torres got pinched for with somebody squealed.
Okay.
Some
right,
snitching.
somebody caught snitching.
Steroids.
His pee snitched on him.
He got caught with steroids. He banned for 10 games.
10 games.
I
have a feeling it's the recovery from injury. You know,
he was injured. We were talking about a couple months ago, like, yo, the dude's looking a little slow, and then like the last like 3-4 games, I'm like, yo, Romanto, all of a sudden
He's back,
he's
baby.
back, baby. I don't know.
Yeah.
He seems like he's 22 years old.
A lot of
He's like-
back acne for some reason.
A lot of
But he's-
energy in this
yeah.
young man.
He's got this Mike Piazza like energy all of a sudden.
Okay,
Yeah.
look, he's the pride of Panama all over again.
They're going back to the World Cup, baby.
But no, this he tested positive for. We don't know what drug he tested positive for, but it was a banned substance.
It was a performance-enhancing drug.
That's right.
This is all we know. So it could be anything. It could be HGH, although that man's head can't get any bigger.
Exactly. And we already know.
They
he
won't
is a-
let him on airplanes if his head gets any
He
bigger.
is already listed as the Major League Soccer's heaviest player. So it can't be for muscle.
Yeah, but it's HEVI, the Dominican way of saying hey. Which just means he's like the littiest player.
That's right. It's weird that MLS has that stat, but whatever.
We won't argue, but we want to know how that started. The hairiest.
Why does Chris McCann's heavy status is 0?
Yeah.
Why even list it to begin with?
What a weird foot card.
So, but he did ban 10 games. Everybody is like kind of, Smetzer has been been supportive on his side. The team is going to welcome him back when he does get back. But there is no, appeal. He's not getting less games. It has to be 10 games. He's going to make it probably right around the time the playoffs start.
Which is good, because you get all that steroid energy in the playoffs. Is what you need.
Sure.
Build that rage,
But it's weird because we're not used to seeing soccer players deal with steroids. The last time I heard of a quote, I don't know if it was credible or not, but I had heard that Jamie Vardy was doing like a blood doping. Remember, he was like all of a sudden he's the fastest player in the league.
Yeah.
Dude came from 3rd division. All of a sudden
He was playing at Fleetwood Mac or whatever the name of
that's the name of the team.
You know what I mean?
It's the name of the team. They had great albums. That team.
Yeah, dude, a lot of emotion.
A lot of
over there.
trophies they've won. That
A lot
band.
of breakups.
So,
Yeah, just rumors. Very nice.
so, but that was sort of makes sense to me, right? As far as like what.
But he didn't get big.
No, I'm saying, but like for a performance enhancing drug or performance enhancing like things that you could do to cheat the game, you could understand like the blood doping, right?
Or spinning of the blood cells, which is very popular. A lot of bicycle people that go in different altitudes do that. Remember when Robin Van Persie he got his ACL torn? You might not have been a fan of the Prem at this point.
Yeah, but this
he
was
he put his foot in horse placenta.
Horse placenta, yes. This was the thing.
Which is a delicacy in some country. Yo, let me get some fries with that horse placenta.
We got.
If you're watching on YouTube, the little horsey on the table just made a reappearance. Yeah.
This is the MLS Wells Fargo horse.
Yeah.
You don't want to know how we get the placenta out of this thing.
Yeah. He's like, how did you heal your foot? Well, we took him down to Old Town Road, and
So it's just the fact that we don't know what drug he did it's why we can like sort of make all these jokes. So it's just like, but I'm curious.
but
to
he's
know.
jacked. So
He's a big dude. Why
he's
does he?
clearly
He doesn't
steroids.
need more muscle.
No.
So it must have been a thing to like heal.
he's already swole. You don't need to adjust the swole. You're good. You swole enough.
You're correct.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. I don't know if we'll ever know what drug he actually did, but from the perspective of, in baseball, it's always like, is this going to affect their legacy? I don't know if it's soccer. This is really the same thing. This is also like with the NFL. When you hear people do drugs, it's like you understand. It's like the game.
They're like in 30 car accidents a game. Like that's how. The effect
You
on
could.
their
I'm like,
body.
yo, dude, if you're not doing some sort of drug, like I feel bad for you.
Yeah. Not even like ibuprofen, my guy. Like do something.
All right, you're not a machine.
Yeah.
So
I get it. Look, you're trying to extend your career. You take the chance.
yeah, I had tweeted that I was like I was bummed out about this information because we met Roman Torres at MLS Cup.
That's right.
Dude
I called him the weekend. He laughed.
Yeah, it was a fun conversation. And a lot of Timbers fans were like, I don't feel bad. I don't care. Good for like what? It's just like, why is the point of that? Like it's like even when it happens in there's
That's
something.
because they're hopped up on all this Booch. This brew Dr. Booch.
But it even
Should be Booch Doctor.
when
by
it
the way.
happens, you see it. There's a certain sense of like weird ownership that fans have over like the players' that play in whatever sport that they like. Where like when it happens in baseball, Robinson could know A-Rod. It's just like, yeah, whatever, get these idiots out of here. They're ruining it. It's just like, yeah, they cheated, right? Or whatever. They're trying to get around. But it's just like, what, you going to hate them? Like, they also have to play 162 games. They deal with so many injuries.
I view that differently, though, because baseball is a stats-based, like historically stats-based sport. Soccer.
So you get emotional over stats. That's it.
No, that is the significant part of baseball. Like you could compare players today, presumably to players of yesteryear, based on the stats. You sort of can. I mean, there's a lot of things that adjusted, but that's what baseball's here for. It's one of those sports where like you look at numbers, nerds. Okay. Well, if we're talking about baseball and you pull out a spreadsheet like that, I don't want to talk about the sport no more. Soccer is a little bit different. Like, you're only as strong as your weakest player. So, I mean, if one guy's doing a little bit of doping or whatever, honestly, all of you do it. I would love to see what that sport looks like.
That should be a new league, right?
Yeah, oh, my God.
Major League Steroids. Let's do it.
Yeah. Everybody's hopped up. Let's see what happens.
Just slide tackles to the face.
Yeah. You think these baseball players, these hockey players are punching each other in the mouth? None of them have teeth. You don't think they're doing a little something? Huh? Get out of here.
Exactly. So, look, we hope the best for Roman Torres. He's a prominent player, prominent Latino player in the league. He's definitely I'm making jokes about the pride of Panama, but the dude is like, he's going to be the president of Panama one day, right? Like, realistically, that's like, we have to give him.
And you'll know he'll cheat to get up there. I mean, look what he's doing in the league.
Whatever it takes.
Pole advanced performance enhancing. All right, whatever. You got what I was going.
Anyway, okay, cool.
PED, joke, pole, boom, done.
So, but
you guys put it together. We're gonna do a little Cooligans kit for the house. You know what I mean?
We hope to see him back. So, so that is it. That is the end of the show today. We definitely didn't get to a lot of stuff we wanted to get to, but there was a lot of somewhat more serious things to talk about. So I'm glad we had to. And
guys, we don't want to ever have to talk about serious stuff on this show.
That's not why you come here.
We really don't.
We can't even do our jobs because of all these terrible things that are going on. So we have to at least find a way, even on a personal level. Like, it's hard to do jokes, right? We have to process it some way, and then the jokes can happen after that. So
our goal is to make you laugh, and hopefully we found a little bit of light in that darkness, hopefully. If not, maybe you laughed at some of the other stuff.
Exactly. Hopefully the Booch bitch puns were enough to lift your spirits.
Yeah, hopefully it's just funny enough that we're just being a bunch of stupid booches. You know what I mean?
Ain't that about a Booch?
Booch, please. We got more. Think we don't. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much for listening to the show, man. We appreciate you, and hopefully, you guys. Thank you, Felix and Peter.
We'll give you a round of applause finally.
You made our day better for being here, man.
Yeah.
So thank you to everyone who listens to the show, watches it on YouTube, leaves a review on iTunes. It does mean the world. And yes, still more big things coming soon, man. So we're excited to keep pushing forward.
Yeah, we have. There was something we wanted to announce today that we can't. We're going to announce it next week, but it's a big deal for us.
Yeah, so tune in.
Stay tuned. That's all we can tell you. It's a really big deal for us.
Exactly.
So stay tuned.
Okay, so with that said, let's. You know what? For Felix, for Peter,
for Kristan Heneage.
For Kristan Heneage. My name is Christian Polanco.
By the way, we're pointing up because that's what the speaker is. He didn't die.
He's not.
If you're watching, it's not an R.I.P. Kristen. He's there. Sorry.
My name is Christian Polanco.
I'm Alexis Guerrero. And together, what are we? The Cooligans! Yeah!
What's up? It's the world champion, Judah Friedlander, and you're watching the Cooligans. Why? Because you're cool. This is what winners look like right here, man.
I mean, you're looking at us.
Right now with my legs, I just juggled the ball 80,000 times.
You missed it.
Yeah.
He's been playing keepy uppy since I met him.
Yep, look faster, guys.
Go Team USA.